Welcome back to the channel. You're with the Walking Cruiser. And today, I'm on Royal Caribbean's Odyssey of the Seas on a 12-day Eastern Mediterranean cruise. In this video, I'm gonna show you all the best of the Odyssey of the Seas, review the food, the venues, the ship spaces, the rooms, and everything we liked and disliked about Odyssey of the Seas. Odyssey of the Seas is the 5th ship in Royal Caribbean's Quantum class. It launched in July 2021 and we sailed in September 2024. At the end of this video, I'll share my final thoughts, so stay tuned for that to help decide if Odyssey of the Seas is right for you. We're gonna dive right in at the Royal Esplanade, and this is the heart of the ship, found in the middle of the ship, spread across decks 4 and 5. Here you'll find many of the ship's amenities, starting with the shore excursions on deck 5. Here's where you can book a shore excursion if you didn't have the opportunity to do that before your cruise. Moving forward, you find the Bionic Bar. Now this is a bar where it's unstaffed, and you order your drink, your cocktail through a screen through a tablet menu, and the robot will happily make it for you. Here is the robot pouring a drink, and here is a similar robot preparing a drink on MSC cruises, which makes this robot seem a little bit boring. On deck 5, you'll find a few of the specialty dining offerings. Starting with Izumi. Izumi is a specialty dining venue that serves Japanese cuisine. It's a small space, but open for lunch and dinner, and serves sushi, ramen, and Japanese rice poke bowls. We didn't try this restaurant, but have a look at the various menu items on offer. Just behind Izumi is the Chops Grille, a specialty restaurant specializing in steaks. This venue also hosts the chef's table. You'll see the entrance to the chef's table just at the back. On the menu, you'll find an appetizer course, soup or salad course, either a meat or seafood main course, some of which have an additional charge on top of the cover charge you pay to dine here. And plenty of sides. These are a few of the items we tried, starting with the colossal shrimp starter. Give that a 4 out of 5. Nice juicy shrimp and a cocktail sauce. Followed by the lobster bisque. Now this gets an impressive 5 out of 5. Really delicious lobster bisque. Easily could have had 2 portions of that. And the main event, which is the steak, a filet mignon, cooked to order, and that gets 4 to 5. Lots of tempting options on the dessert menu. However, I don't feel they were as elevated as they could have been in a specialty restaurant. The warm chocolate cake gets a 3 out of 5. There was nothing special here. And the key lime meringue pie, again, it was very dry, so a 2 out of 5. The worst were the chips, 1 out of 5. They were undercooked. We had to send them back, and they weren't replaced. Next is the chef's table. Now, the chef's table on Royal Caribbean is an elevated 6-course meal, specifically prepared by its own chef, and wine pairings with each course selected by a sommelier. A quick review of the dishes: the scallop carpaccio with yuzu was delicious, really fresh, and excellently prepared. The smoked tomato soup was by far the best soup I've ever tasted. Yeah, dying to get the recipe for that one. The lobster salad was a lobster tail and decorated with different condiments. That was pretty delicious. Now, as I mentioned, each course is paired with a specific wine, and the sommelier was explaining the wine pairings. This is a branzino, which also known as sea bass, also excellently prepared. And the final course, the filet mignon, it was very similar to the filet mignon we found in the other restaurants, but the sides were much nicer. Now, this dessert, I wish there had been more room left at the end of the meal. The preparation of this was extraordinary. It gets a 5 out of 5. It was amazing to watch it melt away, revealing a yummy peanut butter or chocolate center. It was absolutely delicious. I really recommend the Chef's Table on Royal Caribbean to try at least one time. It's a really elevated dining experience and a great way to chat to your fellow cruisers. Plus, the food and the wine was excellent. Also on Deck 5 is the Wonderland specialty restaurant. It's an Alice in Wonderland sort of fantasy-themed restaurant where magical things happen. The decor was very dark and cool, and the menu is experimental, where the food is meant to test your taste buds. Similar to Test Kitchen on Virgin Voyages, if you've ever tried that. We didn't dine here on this cruise, just because we picked other offerings for our dining package. At the front of the ship on Deck 5 is the entrance to the Royal Theatre. The Royal Theatre is where there are many shows, also the bingo, and if you take any excursions, this might be your meeting place. It's a big space, and looking at how it can fill up, I would recommend showing up about 15 minutes early, as the shows here do not have prior reservation. There is a bar and also drink service to your seat. The shows on offer in the evening were a bit hit and miss. Some really good performances, and the technology available at this theater was spectacular. Some, on the other hand, were a bit lackluster in my opinion, but overall the costumes were great, the production was great, and the shows are only 45 minutes. Back on the Royal Esplanade now. This was a really pleasant space to walk about the ship. It was very spacious. I thought the layout was really good, and there was lots of interesting artworks everywhere. It never felt too busy or too crowded here, which is surprising given it is the main thoroughfare from forward to aft. Towards the back of the ship, and across 3 floors is the main dining room. Next is Giovanni's Restaurant and Giovanni's Wine Bar. The restaurant is another specialty dining venue on board, specializing in Italian cuisine. It is a specialty restaurant on board with a cover charge, and it's one that we did try on our cruise. We had a specialty dining package, which meant we could choose 3 of the specialty dining restaurants. Again, I'm not sure if Giovanni's was an elevated enough experience to warrant the extra charge. The antipasti was a bit on the greasy side. The calamari was okay. And the caprese salad also okay. The filet mignon is the same filet mignon you could get at the other restaurants. And this is the muffaletta, which is a breaded rolled beef tenderloin. A 3 out of 5. Perhaps I should have had pasta. And the dessert was just okay. Again, not an elevated experience you would expect in a specialty restaurant. Right next to the restaurant is Giovanni's Wine Bar, with a specialty wine list. And this was also a venue that was used for different daytime activities like quizzes or meetups. Moving further aft on Deck 5, you'll find the Next Cruise Center, where you can speak to the agents and book your next cruise with Royal Caribbean or partner companies like Celebrity. And we've come to the Cafe at 270. This is a great cafe tucked away at the back of Deck 5, just outside of the 270 venue. It has a pretty good selection of quick bites, and the good part about this cafe is it can be a quieter option than the main buffet. You can get sandwiches and salads here made to order, as well as a selection of desserts and a salad bar. And there are also specialty coffees, which do have an extra charge. Although there are plenty of drink options available that are included in your cruise fare, such as regular coffee, decaf coffee, juices, and teas. Now I can show you the 270 venue, which is at the back of the ship across 2 floors, decks 5 and 6. And it is so named 270 because of the 270-degree views it offers from the back of the ship through floor-to-ceiling glass windows. I have to say, this was my favorite venue, both for the views, the layout. It was really bright and spacious with comfortable seating, and in the daytime, there were activities like quizzes and seminars, and in the evening, it really came to life, either with a production show or a dance floor. The production show we saw on board was called The Book, and it was really first-rate. The tech in this space only added to the performance. The set was always changing. You didn't know if something would drop from the ceiling or rise up from the floor, and the screens on robotic arms were really interesting to see. Accessed from within the 270 venue, just up the stairs on deck 6, is the library. Now here is a quiet place where you can do some work, or play a board game, do a puzzle, or play some cards with your family. You can also use the Royal Caribbean Library to sign out a book. This isn't a take a book, leave a book type of system. It works just like a normal library, and you can check out some of the titles that Royal Caribbean have on offer. Just next to the library is the boardroom. Well, I guess not everybody goes on this ship for a holiday. Great views though. Back to the Royal Esplanade now, this time on deck 4. And here we find Sorrento's Pizza. This restaurant serves different kinds of pizza by the slice, or you can also order a whole pizza. It is included in your cruise fare, and whilst the pizza was very nice, I still think MSC has the best pizza at sea. A really good thing about Sorrento's restaurant is that it's open until 3 a.m. So, if dinner was early and you get a bit hungry before bed, it's a really good option. You can also get a takeaway pizza for your stateroom. Deck 4 is where you'll find most of the retail offering on Odyssey of the Seas. It's mostly the higher end offering. Also on deck 4 is the entrance to the music hall, one of the music venues on board. The main entrance to the music hall is on deck 3, where you'll find the dance floor. This is an all-day space, but really comes alive at night. A live band or a DJ, but it does host quizzes and karaoke as well. I'm not sure if I was a fan of the decor in this space. It didn't seem to match the rest of the ship, but at night after the lights went down, you couldn't really tell. On the upper level of the music hall, you get a great view of the dance floor, but even if you can't see it, there are screens showing what's going on down below. There are also pool tables and lots of comfy seating, including seats with views out to sea. Back out onto the Royal Esplanade, the interesting decor continues with this larger-than-life chair. And hidden away at the front of Deck 4 is Unboxed. And in here you'll find vending machines full of essentials. You can also find essentials like these in the Royal shop. And note, just because it is a vending machine, it's not open 24 hours, as here it was closed due to customs restrictions while in port. Also on Deck 4 is Guest Services, and this is where you go if you need anything sorting during your cruise. It could get very busy with longer wait times, but it is open 24 hours, so there's no need to go during the busy times. You can wait, and if your inquiry isn't urgent, just wait until it's quieter. There's even more to find on the Royal Esplanade on Deck 4, such as this retail area where they can host special shopping events, and the Starbucks. This is the Royal Shop on Royal Caribbean, where you can find all your Royal Caribbean branded products. Lots of different clothing, and I really like the t-shirts that featured the different port stops. I thought that was really neat, especially if you had a favorite stop that you wanted to remember. You can also buy a model of the Odyssey of the Seas if you collect the ship models like I do. In between the Royal Shop and Sorrento's Pizza is Cafe Promenade. This is an all-hours venue, so there's always an option on board this ship to have a snack or a drink. And it is included in the cruise fare. Seating areas just through into Sorrento's Pizza. Still on Deck 4, on the forward end of the Royal Esplanade, is the Crown and Compass pub. And this venue is designed to look like an English pub. And it was a really great venue with a great cocktail menu. And here they host some live music acts as well as quizzes throughout the day. Welcome to Casino Royale, which is located in the middle of Deck 3. This was a very large casino with lots of slots and table games. They're often running tournaments, and there's a large bar as well. I was impressed with the size of this casino. And there are both smoking and non-smoking areas. I don't promote gambling, but if you do like to use the casinos on board, I recommend also using your SeaPass so that you can earn points and the benefits that Royal Caribbean Casino offers. I did try my luck on the first day and got a little windfall. $2,500 on the slot machine, which is a hand pay. That amount meant the cashier had to come pay out by hand in cash. I was lucky, but bear in mind the house always wins in the end. Now looking at the main dining room, which is spread across decks 3 and 4. Deck 3 being for anytime dining, and Deck 4 for reserved seating. We were impressed by the service in the main dining room, and the staff were really hardworking and attentive. They also liked to show off a bit, and was always a good show. This was a regular viewing at the end of the cruise, a parade of all the different staff working in the dining room and the nationalities they represent. The menu was always based on a theme, and this is a sample from the Mediterranean night. I can't really fault the food served at the main dining room. It's hard to critique the food or the staff, but if I had one critique, it would be that the staff did always ask to give 5-star reviews once the cruise had finished, and this was more apparent in the final days of the cruise. I'm not sure if that's to do with Royal Caribbean's reward and recognition scheme for their staff, but it was a bit uncomfortable to be asked multiple times. Up on Deck 5 now, looking at the Schooner Bar. This is a nautical themed bar, which in the daytime hosted quizzes, and at nighttime live music such as piano players and guitars. It also had its own cocktail menu, with really innovative cocktails. Now one of the livelier evening venues, this is Boleros on Deck 4, which is a Latin-themed bar. It was a nice place in the daytime to sit and watch the sea views, but at nighttime it really came alive with live bands, playing Latin music and Caribbean music. There's always a great atmosphere in here in the evening, and a Latin-themed drinks menu featuring different tequilas. It seemed like there was a surprise around every corner on Odyssey of the Seas. For example, you never knew where this piano man would show up next. And here he is, in the elevator. Now we're going to look at the outside spaces on Odyssey of the Sea, which is the best place to be to take advantage of the Mediterranean weather. Starting with the pool deck on deck 14. There are two pools on deck 14, both a really good size and big enough to swim in. Surrounded by plenty of open space for sun chairs and for parties. We had the sail away party here, and also Royal Caribbean's white party was held at the pool deck. There's shaded seating area as well, and a smoking area. This space hosted a live band, sometimes in the day, but also in the evening. This is the Lime and Coconut Bar, just to the side of the pool area on deck 14. There were plenty of drink options here, and the staff wearing very colorful uniforms. Always good service, and we found it quick too. Also on deck 14, next to the pool area, you'll find El Loco Fresh. The food here is Mexican themed, and all is included in your cruise fare. It's good for an afternoon snack. By the pool, you'll find nachos, tacos, burritos, and quesadillas. I give the food here a 4 out of 5. This is an extension of the Lime and Coconut Bar up on deck 15, which offers a great place to sit with views over the pool and the surrounding scenery. Heading inside on deck 14 towards the back is the Teppanyaki specialty restaurant. Teppanyaki is a Japanese-themed restaurant, and I recommend you do try it at least once if you haven't dined in a teppanyaki venue before. It's a great show, with the chefs preparing the food right in front of you and your fellow cruisers. The chefs provide the entertainment here, for example, turning an omelet into a cobra. Overall, the food was delicious, and it was good fun. There is an extra charge for dining here, as well as an additional charge for some items. Also, if you're on a dining package, there will be an additional supplement to choose teppanyaki. Overall, I rated this restaurant a 4, just because the dessert was a bit of a letdown. Mochis are not very sweet and not to my taste. Moving all the way forward on Deck 14 is the Solarium. The Solarium is a completely enclosed space and offers a sanctuary from the heat of the outdoors in an air-conditioned space, but still very bright with floor-to-ceiling windows and really refreshing. It has its own pools and whirlpools and viewing platforms off to the side. Royal Caribbean is one of the few ships I've been on that offers complete front-facing views out to sea for all guests. Where most cruise companies reserve the front-facing spaces for suite guests and above. Attached on either side of the Solarium, there are these outdoor viewing platforms, and these are positioned directly above the bridge. Offering great views out to sea, and a view of the rest of the ship. Within the Solarium is the Solarium Bistro. The Solarium Bistro is a Mediterranean-themed restaurant and is served buffet style. It's open for both breakfast and dinner, but you do need to book for dinner. I really liked the food here and rated it a 4, but it was a limited offering compared to the other buffet restaurant, the Windjammer. Still, I do recommend you try it at least once on your cruise, as it's a nice change of scenery. And the food was delicious. Now we've come to the Windjammer restaurant at the back of Deck 14. It is the main buffet restaurant and it's open most of the day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. amazing variety of different dishes here, and the layout was really spacious. It did have its busy times, and it could be a challenge to find a table, even though there was plenty of seating. However, the waits were never that long. The offering changed daily and followed the theme of the main dining room. For example, there were Caribbean night, British night, Mexican night, Asian night, etc. The variety and quality of the food was great, and I give the restaurant overall a 4. Only, it could be difficult to find a clean table, but the hardworking staff did turn it around fairly quickly. You could also avoid the busy times, and there would be no trouble finding a table. The next space we'll look at is this Seaplex on deck 15. This is a huge area dedicated to lots of different activities. Here's the bumper cars, but also in the daytime, this floor can be transformed into racket sports courts or a laser tag venue. Overlooking the Sportsplex is the Playmakers Sports Bar. This bar had a lot on offer, including large screens everywhere to catch live sports, pool, shuffleboards, and a bar which also served draft beer and cider that you couldn't find at the other bars on board. There was a bar food menu here, but note, the snacks here are not included in the cruise fare. Welcome to the Vitality Fitness Center, located on deck 16. If you're a person who likes to keep up their fitness routine while on holiday, you'll find everything you need in here. There's plenty of machines, free weights, and open spaces for mat work. The fitness center also hosts events such as seminars ranging on topics from skincare to healthy posture. I didn't attend any of those. And they also host fitness classes, some of which are included in the cruise fare, but most of them are not, and you can find details of those in the Royal Caribbean app. Directly below the fitness center on deck 15 is the Vitality Spa. In the spa you can get a wide range of treatments. You could have your nails done or your hair, or book any type of facial or massage. There's also a thermal area with a few rooms, such as the typical sauna, steam room, and salt room. However, this area is quite small and doesn't offer anything beyond what I'm able to show you here, which was a bit different from other cruise ships I've been on in the thermal area. I personally don't think this thermal area on Odyssey of the Seas is worth the daily charge. Here we have the Social 180 on deck 15. This is a space reserved for teenagers and hosts various activities throughout the cruise. It looks like a pretty nice hangout. Now we've come to the top deck, deck 15, to look at the North Star. The North Star is a feature that was introduced on Royal Caribbean Quantum class ships. It's essentially a viewing pod attached to a robotic arm that can rise up 300 feet above sea level and extend over the side of the ship, giving 360-degree views. It's free to try on port days, and also be sure to book it in advance as space is limited. I think some of the best features on Odyssey of the Seas were the outdoor features. For example, the rock climbing wall, which is on deck 15, just off the running track on the aft starboard sides. It's also free to use. Just remember to bring your own socks and they'll provide the climbing shoes. Really interesting artwork with the cat playing with the ball of yarn, and really innovative family games, outdoor games such as this billiard table with soccer balls. Another thrilling activity that Royal Caribbean offers is the Ripcord By Ifly, and you'll find this on deck 16. The Ripcord is essentially a skydiving simulator, so you get to feel what it would be like to jump out of a plane and plummet towards Earth, and you are essentially flying against that wind resistance. You're able to book a 1-minute flight once in your cruise, but there are a few weight and health restrictions, so it might not be for everybody. However, the instructors are extremely patient and helpful, and extremely good at flying, as you can see here. Yet another thrilling activity that Royal Caribbean offers is the Flowrider, and on Odyssey of the Seas you'll find this at the back of the ship on deck 15. The Flowrider is a surfing simulator, and it's free to try, or rather it's included in the cruise fare, both on port days and sea days. There are different sessions offered for beginners and more advanced users, and the staff were very patient and motivational and got you to try new moves. I'm able to show you 2 rooms on Odyssey of the Seas, starting with balcony stateroom 646 on deck 6. This stateroom could fit a maximum of 4 passengers. And although there are only 2 of us, I feel it would be spacious enough to allow for It was a good-sized balcony with 2 chairs and 2 footrests. A sofa, a large TV facing the bed, and ample storage. The bathroom was a decent size, and the shower was fairly roomy, but if I had one tip, it would be to pack all your own toiletries, because Royal Caribbean at this level of a balcony cabin only provides a combination shampoo shower gel. The bed was comfortable, and overall I enjoyed staying in this stateroom. The second room on this tour is room 715 on deck 9, which is an internal stateroom. There is no sofa bed in here, so this room has a maximum occupancy of 2. Therefore, the storage is a bit less than the balcony stateroom, but the bathroom is exactly the same size. I've never opted to stay in an internal stateroom, but let me know in the comments if you prefer them. And I wanted to leave you with some final thoughts about Odyssey of the Seas. For starters, we were on a 12-night Eastern Mediterranean cruise, so we had plenty of time to make use and explore the whole ship, and great weather to enjoy the outdoor spaces. When it comes to food, we really enjoyed the Odyssey of the Seas offerings, especially in the main dining room. That was a pleasant surprise and better than expected. And on the other hand, the specialty dining that wasn't an elevated experience and also not as expected. So, in booking a Royal Caribbean cruise again, I don't think I would go to the same specialty restaurant in the future. Or if I did, I would pick my favorites and not go with the dining package. Chef's table aside, as that was a really elevated experience and really different and good to try just once. When it comes to drinks, we did opt for the deluxe beverage package, and I'm glad we did that because it's not just the alcoholic beverages, it is also the specialty coffees, fresh juices, and bottled water, which on this cruise we went through quite a bit. The entertainment on board was overall good, but could be hit or miss. For example, the daytime entertainment always seemed to match the mood and be right on the money. However, the evening entertainment could lack the quality that I've seen on other cruise ships or even other shows on Odyssey of the Seas. What Royal Caribbean does do well is the variety of more exciting activities, such as the Ripcord, the Flowrider, the rock climbing, the bumper cars, the laser tag, and the list goes on. I don't think you could get bored during the daytime on this ship. The overall experience of this cruise was really excellent, but part of that was the itinerary. We were on a 12-day Eastern Mediterranean cruise that went to Italy, Greece, Turkey, and Cyprus. And in a future video, I'm going to feature some excursions on what we experienced on those stops. So please look out for that video so we can share this amazing itinerary with you. Thank you for coming along with me on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next video.